and welcome to the Fertility Coaching Mastery Podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Kela Smith, and this is a space where we talk about all the things that it takes to start, build, grow, or scale a purposeful and profitable fertility coaching practice. We talk about the clinical side, the business side, the mindset, everything that's required to do this work. So for those of you who don't know me, again, I'm Dr. Kela Smith, and I am a holistic doctor. I have a specialty in fertility and hormones, and I am the lead educator at the Hormone Puzzle Society's Educational Institute, where we train practitioners and those aspiring to be in fertility coaching. And today we're talking about something that I know holds a lot of people back, and that is feeling unqualified. And do you actually need a fertility coach certification to be a successful fertility coach and launch your practice? Before we get into that, if you're watching this or listening to this on the podcast, make sure you hit that follow button, leave us a review so more people can find our show and you never miss an episode. And if you're watching this on YouTube, hello, make sure you hit that subscribe button and leave us a comment. Let us know what you loved about the show. I just want to expand my reach and I want more people to find the show. And the way that we do that and the way that YouTube will show us to more people is if you hit that subscribe button. So now let's get into our show. So if you've ever thought, do I actually need a certification to be a fertility coach? And if so, I'm about to give you an honest answer, and that's what we're going to get into today. So let's start with the truth. Technically, you do not need a certification to be a fertility coach. There's no law, there's no governing agency, there's no licensing board that says that you have to get a certification to be a certified fertility coach. But what most people are thinking is, okay, if I don't have a certification, do I have what it needs to feel confident and work with any clients across any treatment protocols? Do I want to know what someone is saying when they say they've tried everything? Do you want to understand what they mean by that? Do you want to actually get results for your clients, or do you want to just give advice? And do you want to build something sustainable and not just a hobby, not just something that sounds good, but something that's an actual business that you can get results? And so let me say this very clearly and with compassion. There is a difference between sharing information and giving general wellness advice versus guiding somebody through a fertility journey, one that's emotional, one that is complex, and one that you need to have training in order to do. Fertility is not simple. It's so many things. It's multifaceted. It's whole body medicine. It's root cause approach. It's also hormones and gut health and the nervous system and lifestyle and nutrition and emotions and relational. All of it is what makes a good fertility coach, and knowing about all of these things and how to guide somebody through these pieces. So while you can do this without certification, the question is, how are you going to show up if you don't have a certification or if you don't have some sort of credentials behind your name? And one of my goals is to create expert fertility coaches, not just generalists, not just coaches that are okay. And unfortunately, without certification, it's really hard to do that. Because certification is honestly another level of education, another level of credentialing, another piece to this puzzle in order for you to create a sustainable business that actually helps people. And this is why certification matters and why it's so powerful, because it's not just another piece of paper. It is actually gives you structure so you know what to do and what to focus on with each client. It's a proven framework, so you're not reinventing the wheel. You have a structure and a protocol to follow so that you can build your own programs. It builds confidence because you actually understand the human body and what's happening in the body. It gives you credibility. People want to work with people that are credentialed, that are certified, that are licensed, that have letters behind their name. They want to know that you have been trained and educated. And one of the biggest things that I see is that certification gives you a process, because without a process, you're really just reacting and trying to piece things together you're actually leading and becoming an expert if you have a certification. And so this really changes how you show up for clients. It changes the client experience. It changes their results. It changes your mindset. It changes who you are. You step into that identity of being a certified fertility coach, and it changes your business and it can change your life. So what happens without it? Let's talk about when people try to do this without a structure, without a certification, without going through any kind of training program, or maybe they go through a training program that's really short. I've seen coaches go through a weekend program and claim to be like certified fertility coaches. And I'm sorry, that's just not enough training to be able to do this work. And I want to say this with so much love. What tends to happen when you don't have proper training and you don't have a certification or credentials behind your name, you try to Google everything and piece things together. You try to listen to all the free information from podcasts to books to Instagram to influencers to all of that free information. Then you try to piece together a protocol and you are using different protocols, so you don't really have a clear system. You second guess everything. And then when your clients don't get results or they don't get consistent results, you feel like you're not doing enough. So you pile more stuff on that you have researched through Google and Instagram and social media. And then the client gets overwhelmed, you get overwhelmed, and then they say, that program from Coach Mandy doesn't work. It just doesn't work. She doesn't know what she's doing. She's all over the place. And so then the client starts to second guess you. You start to second guess yourself. And then you're like, coaching is stupid. I want to quit. And so if you have ever felt like this, you start to question everything. And I see it happen time and time again with coaches or aspiring coaches or people who want to add fertility coaching to their practice. They end up quitting because business is hard, but especially if you don't have the education behind what you're trying to do and their credentials, it makes it almost impossible. And so really, whenever this starts to happen and you try to do it and piece it together, you start to question yourself. You start thinking, maybe I'm just not enough. And in reality, you just don't have the right structure. You don't have the right credentials. It would be like trying to go and get a job as an electrician without going to electrician school, or going to get a job as an advertising executive without ever getting any schooling in advertising. It's the same thing. It's like you can try to piece things together, but if you don't have a certification, you're not the problem. It's the system that's the problem. And this is such an important distinction. So now let's kind of switch gears. So I hope you understand what I'm trying to say here, but I want to switch gears and I want to talk about, okay, so say you're listening to this and you're thinking, okay, I understand. I've got it. I want to get a certification. So the next question becomes, well, what kind of certification should I get? And this is what I want you to look for when you're thinking about getting a certification. Because when I first started my company almost 10 years ago, I first started on the client patient side, helping people solve their infertility struggles and their hormone issues so they could get pregnant, stay pregnant, and live symptom free. Well, then about a year into my business, I transitioned into teaching other practitioners and aspiring practitioners how to start their own businesses in coaching. And I developed a fertility coach certification program, which is the one I run today through my school. So if you're looking for a program, so back to say, I created that program. There wasn't anything else like that on the market when I created that in 2019. Now there's many different certification programs. I see them popping up all the time. I mean, 2-day events and 2-day, get certified in a weekend. So I really want you to be mindful when you are thinking about getting certified as a fertility coach, what to look for in your training. And these are all things that I include in my training. So first, you want clinical and root cause training, not just surface level hormone info, but actual clinical education, anatomy and physiology, biology, learning about all of those pieces. And not because you're going to diagnose or treat somebody's illness or disease, but because you need to know this in order to work with somebody and in order to help them through their nutrition and lifestyle modifications. Just because you're not diagnosing somebody, if somebody comes to you and they have PCOS or endometriosis or their advanced maternal age, you want to know the clinical pieces behind that so you're educated enough to know what they're saying, to talk to them, and then to guide them through their nutrition and lifestyle habits. You want practical application. You want to hear case studies and real life scenarios and things on actually how to work with clients. So you don't just want the education, but you want actually how to implement it. Then you want a step-by-step framework. You don't want to guess at the structure of your program. That's one of the things that we provide here is that we give you my done for you 12-week program that I currently use today with my fertility patients. And it's one that you can just plug and play into your practice. It's proven, it works, and you don't have to recreate the wheel. Business and marketing training. This is a piece that was hugely missing from the first certification that I ever received. I had the clinical knowledge, but I didn't know what to do with it. I didn't know how to start a business. I didn't know how to get insurance or register with my state or my city or, put together all of the business pieces that you have to do to start a business. Should you be an LLC or an S corp? How do you file your taxes? How do you hire an accountant? Do you need a lawyer? What is your legal jargon on your website? Like all of these things that you need to know to start a business was not there in my first fertility coach certification program. So I created it and I added it into mine. And then ongoing support. Does the program you're looking at offer mentorship or group coaching or mastermind calls or, even like media opportunities? Are you able to work with somebody that's higher up than you so that they can guide you? And so you really want to look for those four pieces specifically. And I always like to say this, that you can learn all of the clinical pieces and you can have the knowledge, but knowledge without implementation will not move you forward. And so you really need to learn how to apply everything that you're learning, not just the pieces themselves, but how to use them in the real world. And so I really want you to think about that as you're thinking about becoming a certified fertility coach. In the programs that you're looking at and interviewing, do they have all of those pieces? And I want to talk about perspective for a minute when it comes to fertility coach certifications, because the certification is not just a piece of paper. It's not about collecting credentials. It's not about feeling that you're good enough. It's about becoming the practitioner that you want to be. It's about showing up with confidence, leading with clarity, and supporting clients with integrity. But most importantly, it's about holding the space for someone in a moment that truly matters. You're walking this very delicate walk with people struggling with infertility, and you need to be that expert that deep down inside, I know that you are, and that you know that you are. And fertility is not just another niche. This is people's lives and their families and their legacies and their future. And so when you take it seriously, certification feels like a non-negotiable. And everything starts to come into alignment when you reframe and you change your mindset around this. And so this is exactly what I've built inside the Fertility and Hormone Coach Certification Program at the Hormone Puzzle Society's Educational Institute. I designed it so that you have clinical knowledge, you have a step-by-step framework, you have business and marketing, you have personal development, you have support and business strategy and mentorship and hand-holding. And so I can actually say this with confidence that you're not just going to learn these things, but actually learn how to apply it. So if you've been feeling stuck or if you feel like this is a push you need to get started, whether you are brand new and you're thinking about becoming a certified fertility coach, or you're already working in the wellness space and you want to add fertility care to your practice, especially if you want to go virtual, then I want you to take a look at our certification program here at our Educational Institute. You can do that at fertilitycoachingmastery.com/certification-course. And so I can't wait for you to check out our program. And as we close for today, I'll leave you with this. You don't need more random information. You just need the right foundation. You don't need to wait until you feel ready. You just need to start where you are and with the right support. And you don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to take that next aligned step. So thank you for listening. Again, you can learn more about our programs, our classes, our challenges, everything that we offer here at the Hormone Puzzle Society's Educational Institute. You can go to fertilitycoachingmastery.com and grab all of our goodies. So thank you for listening. I am so excited that you're here. I hope you love this podcast. Again, please hit that follow button, subscribe on YouTube, leave us a comment or a review so more people can find our show. And I hope you have a great week. I'll see you back here next week for another show. And I'm just so grateful for each and every one of you. So thank you for being here and bye for now.